Hey guys, welcome to Feedback Friday. Today we're going to be looking at a wedding film from Tristan Wingert, shot on a Canon T6i Rebel, a Sigma Art 18-35 1.8, a Tamron 24-70 2.8, a Canon 100-400 4.5 to 5.6, a Phantom 3 drone, and a Devon Graham Series glide cam. And for audio, he used a Tascam DR10L, an H1N zoom recorder, and a Comica shotgun mic. Tristan is very humble about this. He knows he made mistakes and he wants some good feedback. This is his second wedding video ever. Also, Tristan's already booked 2 weddings for next year, so he already has 4 weddings under his belt. And we will take a look at it. Here we go. Beautiful opening shot. So my first thing with that second clip is that it felt too fast. It felt too jittery. The song is very slow and acoustic, so I would match your movements with the style, and you have to know that going to the video because you shot it that way before you found the music. But for me, the song is kind of more of a slow and dreamy vibe, like the opening shot was. But this shot is kind of like a really fast, amateur pan down of the dress, which you don't need. Just take a couple slow detail shots of the dress from different angles as opposed to one long, quick, jittery shot. Pretty sun flare comes in. Very cool detail shot of the rings.
Christy, I love you so much. I can't imagine having anyone else standing up here with me today. I promise to be a better husband to you each and every day for the rest of my life. You have always been there for me through the hard times and the easy times.
So,
you're my rock.
Tristan, for this one,
me through there for me my life. You have always been there.
We never really get a good shot of the bride, and I'm assuming this is the bride. So here we have her looking in the mirror.
Standing up here with me today.
Can't really see her face still, but okay, that's the bride.
I promise to be a better husband to you each and every.
And there's a lot of dead space up here, a lot of dead space on this wall up here, and they're just kind of filling up the bottom subject. Again, I'm all about unconventional framing. I think it looks very aesthetic and pretty. But this just felt like it was amateur. It didn't feel like you're really focusing on anything. Our main focus is this lady, who we shouldn't be focusing on.
Every day for the rest of my life. You have always been there for me.
The audio sounds pretty decent. It sounds a little bit muffled, but it sounds pretty good. And then we go from this same shot, right? We're in the same room, but she's getting ready, and then all of a sudden it cuts to what we assume is the bride in her white dress with her bridesmaids turning around to looking at her.
There for me.
But again, there's all this space up here. It looks like you just didn't know how to frame it, and her head's down here. It's very awkward. Fix your framing. Learn composition. Watch the composition video in the course. It's very helpful. Tell the story. You want to get to that point. You want to show the bride getting ready. Maybe show the groom getting ready, the venue getting ready, before you show her in her white dress. And when you do show her in her white dress, make it very obvious that it's her in her white dress and that we know who we're looking at, because it was so quick.
Times and the easy times. You're my rock. I'm so lucky to have you and excited to see where this life takes us.
That would have been a pretty shot to introduce the bride in her white dress. Cool shot. Beautiful visuals. Movements are a little fast, but I like it.
I think I've known since the first time we met that we were going to be standing here today. Do you remember how we instantly...
Her audio definitely doesn't sound as good as the groom's. It might be because she was picking up the groom's audio from a few feet away and you tried to fix it. I'm loving these shots of the groom.
I felt as though we had already spent a lifetime together. There was an inexpressible energy between us.
Cool shot.
Something I've never felt with anyone else before. I've always wondered if this could mean we're soulmates.
Very cinematic. Well done. Nice transition there. So my issue with that is I don't feel like there was a big moment leading up to it, right? The song changed.
I felt as though we had already spent a lifetime.
Right when her vows ended.
There was an inexpressible energy between us.
Wait for it.
Something I've never...
Right there. when the guitar picks up, that would have been an awesome time to transition to the ceremony, to help tell the story, to build up the music. And so when the key changes, our focus changes, our attention perks up. I think you could have trimmed the fat on all these opening clips so that that part, the bride could have entered the frame at the ceremony. Because I just kind of felt like a cool transition, but just felt out of place. Missed the focus there, a little wobbly. Lighting's a little tough in that room. Got Edna Mode officiating back there. Pretty shot. I've never seen a flash during a ceremony. That's tough. Very pretty. Pretty fast movements there. Slows down. And I think your shutter speed was off, Tristan. I felt a lot of the shutters are jittery, so maybe your shutter speed was a little bit too low. Maybe your aperture was too high. I don't know. Another cool transition. That one worked really well. Very pretty bridals. It's a great shot. I don't love that shot. Like, it's kind of a sunflower, there's some trees, the top of their heads, the framing isn't really good. It's a fun shot. I don't know if the T6i has autofocus, does it? This is a personal preference, but I think your shadows are a little bit too cool. I would raise the temperature a lot and make it more of a warm and inviting tone. Again, personal preference. It just depends on your style. But like that shot, how cool and kind of creepy it looks compared to how warm and pretty that shot looks. Again, the sun's coming in here, but you can still warm up your shadows and warm up your image. Oh, there goes it's my internet connection, man. Very pretty. Not sure why my internet's doing that. Start out with some pie cutting. A lot of these shots, Tristan, are looking pretty amateur, my man. Like, just, it looks like you're just walking by and looking at what you're seeing with your camera. Like, just, you know, as opposed to kind of framing your shot, getting a smooth, pretty shot. It just kind of looks like you're just kind of like walking by, like, oh, that looks cool, film that, oh, film this. People can tell how much you put into a video, and I know you put a lot of work into this, but I want you next time to sit down with your video and say, okay, here's a shot of pie. Instead of getting it from this high angle, I'm going to get low, right? I'm going to use one slice as foreground and focus on another piece. and have there be background and create some good depth. And I'm going to slide past a little bit to really make it look very cinematic and very beautiful. Just taking a little bit of extra time to do those kind of shots really improve the quality of a video, especially when you're on lower end equipment. Man, that was a lot. Maybe the bread requested it. I don't usually film slideshows because it's a slideshow and they're watching it. Yeah, I don't know. Personal preference, I just would omit that scene. Some parts of a wedding day don't need to be in the video, you know? But I only show a quick reaction and then maybe one slide. That's cute, holding hands. Maybe one slide. But we're got 2, 3 slides now, 4 slides now, 5 slides. It's a lot of slides. Sorry my quality is so bad, but I can still watch it pretty well. Very nice. So I personally would have shot into the light and had them outline the back of their head to get a really pretty lens flare, help brighten the quality. Yeah, you'll kind of lose the lighting on their face, but it will look a lot better, in my opinion, when the light is seeping through them as opposed to pushed up against them. This guy looks like Thanos. Again, same thing with that shot. I just felt like you were walking by with your camera, you got a shot, and you kept walking. It didn't feel very planned out. This whole thing feels a little bit dark to me. I would recommend, bro, buying some lights. That's your next investment. Look how dark this place is. It's impossible. Go buy some lights, light it up. Oh, did she change? Crazy. Oh, what's that guy doing? Weddings are weird, man. Forever and always. Very nice, bro. Tristan, for your second wedding, man. Good job. Very impressed. Little things that go a long way, my man. Learn how to frame. Improve your composition. Make sure when you're capturing details or people, you're doing it the best way possible. Zoom in on tighter focal length. Back up a little bit. Try different angles. Find some depth. Create the depth. And next thing with receptions, in an effort to not have them feel boring and loopy, find music that has audio. Find lyrical music. That was just an acoustic guitar strum that had no chorus, it had no hook. It was just the same loop and the same strums over and over again for a couple minutes, and it kind of made me bored because there was no talking, there was nothing to really help drive the story forward except for your visuals, which were kind of dark and repetitive. So find music that's engaging that can help lighten up your video, and then 2, buy some lights, bro. It's time. You're killing it. You got 2 more weddings. Go get 1 or 2 lights at least and start lighting your receptions to help improve the visuals you have. You had some great footage, but a lot of it was too dark. As for colors, I think your colors are pretty good. I would like them a little bit warmer in the shadows, but the footage was great, man. I'm very impressed. I think for your second wedding, I say this to a lot of people, but maybe I was just really bad when I started, but that was way better than my second video. And so it's cool for me to see people like you on their second wedding video with such humility wanting to improve, producing quality like this. Go go through the course, watch composition, slow down your movements, balance your glide cam better. It might be a little bit too bottom heavy. It felt really swayy, so go fix that. And those are just little things that will help improve the quality of your video on a bigger scale. And pretty soon you'll be able to raise your prices because the quality of the video has gone up so much just by improving little things. But great work, Tristan, guys. If you have any questions for me or Tristan, please let us know. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Feedback Friday. We're going to be taking a look at a clip shot by Kayla Christine last week. Kayla had a unique situation. She didn't know the first look with the dads were happening, so she didn't have time to adjust her settings. So she filmed this with her settings set to indoor, so everything came out blue and a little overexposed. Definitely learned from her mistakes, but she sent me this clip hoping that I could recover it in some way, so I'm going to do the best I can with the limited knowledge I have to make this look as good as we can make it look. So here we have the clip. We will we'll watch it really quick. It's a 32-second clip, so we'll watch it first and we'll see what we can do with it. Keep in mind the scopes over here. We can see there's a lot of green, a lot of blue happening here, and a lot of pink being crushed. None of it's really even, so we'll see what we can do.
I told ya! I told you!
Get ready.
Oh, super overexposed right there. Okay, so cute clip. So I'm gonna interpret this footage to 23 or 24 frames per second. Try a new sequence so it's nice and slow. We'll mute the audio for this just so we can kind of watch it slower. You can speed it back up in post if you want to, but here's how I would color correct this clip. So this is the most overexposed part of the image. They kind of step out of the shade there. They're a little bit in the shade and they step out of it, and the bride is just completely overexposed. And we can see here on our Lumetri scopes that the highlights are just peaking at the top there, and the shadows aren't really existent. And we have colors all over the place here. So the first thing I want to do is fix the exposure. So we're going to mess around with the exposure really quick. First, the highlights. I'm going to take the highlights all the way down. Okay. So just as you can see, fixing the highlights helps a lot. Turn on the highlights. It's already looking better. Luckily, it wasn't completely overexposed. The whites will just kind of make it look a little bit desaturated, so we won't do that a whole lot, just a little bit. Contrast, let's see if I'm going to lower the contrast to help bring some of that detail back. As you can see, the detail kind of comes back with the contrast lowered. Watch her dress as I bring the contrast up and down. We see more detail, but it also makes it a little bit flatter, but we'll fix that with our shadows. Okay, then the exposure is a big one. We don't want it to be, dark. I think we're going to leave it as is. Put it on 3 for now. And to really fix it, we can lower our shadows to add contrast. I don't love that look. You can raise them, but there are a lot of shadows to begin with. So I'm going to lower those. I'm going to lower it a little bit, and then lower the blacks also a little bit. So that's a little bit more evenly exposed. Again, the highlights are still not where I'd like them to be. If we desaturate it more, we'll kind of help out with that, but we're not going to. We're going to leave it at 95, 98. Okay, so here's the before and after of our exposure. Look at the dad's face and both men's faces. You see his hair come into detail. Her hair comes into detail. So we might adjust that more as we kind of move through our Lumetri here, but for now, that looks good. Okay, and the temperature is way off, so let's raise it a little bit. Obviously we're not shooting raw, so we're going to lose a lot of detail here, but even just raising the temperature a lot fixes a lot of the look. It's really pink, so we're going to pump some more green into it. But now the whites aren't looking white, as you can see. We want the whites to be white. So we're going to adjust it till we feel like the whites look white in the skin. Looks good. Okay, I think that's pretty close. I think it's a little bit off-white still. But we're going to fix that in a second. There's like a pink tint. Okay, we'll fix that. Okay, let's go to curves. Let's just add some contrast here. Raise the highlights a tiny bit. Crush the shadows. So here's the before and after so far. Here's what we're dealing with. Not loving the temperature. Let's go back to temperature and let's cool it off a little bit. Maybe lower the saturation just a little bit more. Okay, the skin tones just are bothering me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an HSL secondary. I'm going to grab the dad's skin tones. And then we're going to turn on color gray so we can select it solely. We're going to adjust our parameters so we can get all the skin tones. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Denose it and de-blur it. So now we're getting the skin tones pretty well. We'll lower the blur a little bit. We want the skin tones to be a lot more orange, right? We want it to be more warm and lush and not as pink and gross. So we'll mess around with this. Maybe add a little bit of green to it. Just a little bit. I'm going to turn this off now so we can see it better. So even just that little adjustment, look at the skin. So much better already. I'm going to lower their skin so it's a little darker. And I just like to drag this in like every place to kind of see where I want it to look. And as you can see, it looks best when we add some yellows to it. It was lacking the yellows. So we're just going to add a little bit of yellow to it. Desaturate, maybe saturate it just a tiny bit. Add some contrast. Add some warmth. And boom, so that's the skin tones fixed. Look at that. Look at that. That looks amazing. Okay, and ideally the HSL secondary the greens as well, so we'll get to that later, but let's just see if we can fix it with just the curves. Let's start with the blues. So I'm going to grab all the blues on my timeline and I'm going to adjust them the way I want. There's a lot of blue in the image. I kind of like that teal look, so it goes from here to more of a teal, more of a purple, from a purple more to a teal, and I'm going to saturate it like crazy, just for this specific look. I'm going to grab the greens and the yellows. There's a lot of yellow and green, so I'm going to raise those to how I like it. You can kind of see it transform. We'll keep it a little bit warm, but then we'll take the greens and warm those up a lot. And then desaturate them. Okay, and there's still a bit too much blue for me, so I'm going to desaturate the blues a little bit more. So here's the before and after so far. Here's what we're dealing with. Again, I'm color grading the way my style is. So far, it's looking pretty dang good. Okay, and then I add vignette just to add a little bit of depth, but I'm still seeing some blue, and I don't want to see blue. So I'm gonna come back into our curves and take that light blue look and see if I can just take it and kill it. Not a whole lot. I'll take this one. Cool. I'm in the creative tab, and you can add a lot. I don't know if I would. It looks pretty good. That's just one of the LUTs I added. Takes out all the blues. So we'll add it. Maybe you can kind of play around with a couple different ones. As you can see, our colors already look pretty good, even when I turn this LUT on. We'll add it for a little bit of punch. And I think with this shot, I'd add some faded film to kind of make it look a little bit more cinematic. So let's see this. Before and after. Cool. So we have the letterbox version and the unletterboxed version. It's up to you which one you prefer. And I'm still seeing a little bit of a pink hue there, so I'm going to even lower that a little bit more. Decontrast it more. Lower the whites a little bit more. Bring the curves down a little bit more. So boom, there you have it. There is the before and after of this clip. Kayla, I'll send this file to you, but hope that helps. Obviously, it took about, it took me 10 minutes to do that. So even if you think you butchered a shot, there's always ways to clean it up. It just takes some time. Luckily, Kayla filmed this not too overexposed, so we were still able to recover a lot of the highlights. But if she had, if it was way off, it would have been unrecoverable and we would have been losing a lot of detail. But luckily we had enough information to work with to adjust the highlights, adjust the shadows, and then change all the colors we wanted them to. And you can, obviously make it more stylized with different LUTs. You can add more and more intensity to kind of make it pop a little bit more. Make the skin tones look a little bit better and the green's deeper and the yellow's bad, and the yellow's gone, but it's up to you. But there you have it. I hope it helped. If you have any further questions, please let me know. Hey guys, so one of our students, Florian, sent me this clip saying he didn't really know how to make it look cinematic. So he sent it to me and said, just do what you can with it, let's just see what you do. And he sent me the uncolor graded version and also his color graded version. So let me show that to you really quick. So here is the uncolor graded version and here is his color grade. So just a little bit slight, a little bit contrasty. Green's desaturated a little bit. To me, it looks really good. Here's another clip. That is the unedited and that is his edit. So I told him this already, but there's not a whole lot I would do to this clip. It's a happy Christmas video. Coloring, like anything, the goal isn't to make it look as cinematic as possible. The goal is to help enhance the story. And with a happy, cheerful chorus video, your goal isn't to make it look like this cinematic masterpiece. You want it to match the vibe of the song, which is bright, happy, and fun. So honestly, Florian, I wouldn't do a whole lot to this clip, but I'll show you what I would do, and let's see if our color grades are almost identical, because they might be. Let's take this one. Okay, and so I'm going to add a adjustment layer, so that way we can make one color correction and it'll apply to every clip. Okay. So let's go into colors and let's start. So the exposure is already pretty good. It's a little bit bright for me, but again, it's a Christmas song, so you kind of want it to be bright and happy. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. I'm going to raise the blacks a little bit. Raise the temperature because I want it to be nice and warm. Maybe add a little bit of contrast. So here's the before and after so far. Too green for me. Let's go pink. So again, this is more of a warm tone, more of a faded film look, warmth. I'm going to my curves. Okay, and I like to start with my greens, so I'm going to grab my greens and yellows. Because this is a Christmas song, I don't know if I would desaturate the greens. I want the greens to pop because it's Christmas. So I'm going to take the yellows and actually make them a little bit more lush, a little bit more green. I'm going to take this and maybe desaturate that a little bit, maybe not, maybe just a little bit. Keep the yellows a little bit down, but the greens popping. Okay, I'm going to grab the blues. There's not a whole lot of blue in here, but there are some in the shadows. So I'm going to take the blues, teal them up. I'm actually going to add some saturation to the blues. Okay, and there's a really bright pink on, so I'm going to make that about the same. Here's before and after so far. I'm going to add a little vignette. Maybe even a white one because it's Christmas. And if I really wanted to make it pop, add a little LUT here. Like 10%. And maybe make it a little bit warmer. Because see how the whites are still white? So that is my color grade right there. Took about 2 minutes. And let's compare that with his. So that's his color grade. It's my color grade. Obviously different styles, different looks. I kind of like the faded film, more warm, Christmassy look. He went with more of a magenta look. Here's a clip without any color grade. Here's a clip with his color grade. And here's a clip with my color grade. So yeah, Florian, I hope that helps. It's just a little bit a quick tutorial on how I would color correct that clip. It's up to you if you like that style. That's kind of how I'd like it. Again, color grading enhances your story. I wouldn't desaturate the greens because it's Christmas and Christmas trees are green and lush. So keep them green and lush. But if you have any further questions, please let me know.